Welcome, welcome back to my channel Conquer the Fear. In this video, we are going to discuss about one of the most very popular interview questions. What is the difference between @REST controller and @controller? So if you are preparing for an interview or you wanted a live example of understanding of these two annotations, then this is the right video. So let's start with the video. Go to the Google and search for the Spring Initializer. Open the website. Now you will be able to select the Java version, the Maven, and always select the stable version of Java and the Spring Boot. Now you see I'm trying to write the group ID and the artifact ID over here. You have to select the packaging over here and select the web dependency over here. Once you select this, you can download this particular project and import into the IntelliJ. Now we'll come to the IntelliJ. You have to open this from the file and import it. Once you open this, you will be able to see this particular project structure like this. Now we'll open the pom.xml. Here if you see, the web dependency is already added over here. Now this is the main class of the application where the application of Spring Boot starts. Now let us try to add the server.port. Always try to mention the port number which you want your application to be deployed on. Then go to the pom.xml. Let's add the time leaf dependency in this, so that when you're trying to add that particular time leaf dependency, there is no compilation error of that. Now always try to download this particular thing so that you don't get compile time errors. Now always, as I mentioned, sometime it happens that you have to retry it and then you have to reload the project to resolve any compile time issues. Now you'll see it is able to locate that particular dependency. Now let's go to the class and create a model class. So I'm going to create a model class message. So this has to be created in the model package. So just follow the standards so that your application is in a very structured way. Now if you see, I've created the model class or package over here and I've moved that particular class to that. Here actually I'm going to create one attribute called content, where I will try to display the content. Then after that I will try to create the constructor of it. So I will make use of the constructor syntax and I will try to create the context. Now I will add the string content of this and actually I will try to assign it to this variable over here. So whenever we are trying to create a constructor, this particular things can be assigned it. Now let's create the getter setter for it. Now it is going to return that particular content. Now I'm going to create the setter of here, so that it is going to set that particular content. It is going to be similar to what we have written in the constructor. Now after writing the model, let's try to create the traditional controller. Now we will make use of @controller annotation in order to create that and simulate the traditional way of writing the web application. Now earlier to REST controller, this was the way where you used to write this particular code. We used to write that, annotate with the @controller on that particular class. So in this way, the application used to identify this is the controller where it is going to handle the request. Now we have created a method, that is a get method, and also we'll write the mapping over here. Also we'll create a method which is going to serve that particular mapping. Now if you see, I'm going to return this particular string welcome method, and then I will write a model over here. Now add this particular model if you wanted to map it with the view. So in that case, I'm trying to add this as a model, and it is going to be passed as a parameter over here. Now I will write the logic over here to add that particular and map that particular view over here. You, in this way, you have to first write that particular which view you want to display. So the welcome is going to be the HTML where the page would be rendered, and then I'm trying to add the model with some attributes over here. Let's say I'm trying to pass some name over there. So in that case, the name attribute will be passed along with the value of it. Now if you take a look at this at the rate welcome, which is going to be the HTML as I mentioned. So make sure you write that particular HTML code as well in order to return. Let's create that particular file in the template folder. I'll write that as an welcome.html. This has to be the same name of that what you have given in the return type. Now let's add the HTML page. I've added the content. If you see, I've added like the guest, that then the syntax over here and everything. Now if you take a look at this, let's go to the traditional controller. Now as our application is confirmed and everything is written over here with respect to the traditional thing, let's try to run our application and see how it behaves. Now once you run this, you will be able to see that your application has been started on one of the port. If you see here, it is triple 4x9s. Now go to the browser and hit the endpoint which we have already configured for the traditional. Now if you see, I have actually marked it as a traditional, and you see the response is written over here. So this is how you write that particular traditional way using the controller. Now here I will make a copy of it, and I will try to explain you the example of response body. Now if you have noticed, actually I am trying to write this particular another method, and I am trying to return a message. I am not trying to return a HTML page. I am trying to return some data, that is a JSON. Now in order to achieve this, that is the reason there is an response body we have to add as an annotation just below that get mapping, so that it will convert that particular to the JSON. Now if you see, I'm trying to return that particular message as a traditional way. Now I have to just change this particular method name. Now at this, actually I will just annotate with response body. Now with this, it is going to return that particular message. Now it will convert this to the JSON over here with this particular addition of that. Now let's try to, in this case you don't require this model.add attribute right now. You can actually directly return that particular message here. Now let's try to run this and copy this particular mapping. I've just started the application. Just copy this particular traditional response and then go to the browser. Now you see, I'm trying to hit this and I got the response. See, it is converted to the JSON. I didn't have to do anything else, just add the response in order to achieve this functionality. Now if I wanted to return only the string, the plain text, so in this case, what are the things which we need to do? We definitely need the get mapping. Also we also needed the response body. Now instead of the new message, I'm trying to just return this simple string over here, nothing complex, just nothing to be added more than that. I'll just remove this particular comment which I've added. Now let me run this particular application, or let me restart this particular application so that it is configured accordingly and it will be able to achieve this. Now application is started. Now let's go to the browser. Now you see, let's hit that particular endpoint. Now you see it is returning the string instead of the JSON now. So this is the way how we used to earlier define those particular annotations and use them. So in this way, if you see, there is a disadvantages there. If you see, at the rate controller, I'm writing the every time the method has to be annotated with at the rate response body. So in that case, let's say you had 20 methods in that particular controller, you have to write this 20 times. So this was one of the advantage, and hence there was a need to create this particular at the rate controller stress controller annotation. So let's try to create this modern controller over here. So I have to trust annotate with the at the rate rest controller over here. So this is the main changes where we have to do this. We'll look into the exact code, what is the advantage of this and how we can write this. Now as we have annotated with at the rate rest controller, now let's try to write a method with the get mapping over here as we have achieved similar in the last program. So I'll just create a get mapping, add the URL over there, and then write the method to achieve that. So I will create a method which is going to return that particular message. So here I'm trying to create a message with the method name as an hello, and it will actually just in the modern way I'm trying to write this. So if you see, I'm trying to return that particular message over here. So if you see, I'm going to type this inside this as an modern way of returning that particular message. Now make sure now you understand this, that here actually I'm not writing any at the rate response body. It is already taken care in the at the rate rest controller. Now at the rate rest controller is nothing but the combination of at the rate controller and the at the rate response body. So in this way it is going to, without writing that particular at the rate response body, you will be able to return that particular JSON over here. Now you see, I will try to rerun this particular application right now, and you will see that this is written in the JSON in spite of I'm not writing the at the rate response body on that particular method over here. Now you see here, I'm trying to call this particular method. Now you see, you got that answer, right? So if you see, this is the way you write it in the modern application. Now let's try to see the difference. If you see, as I already mentioned, the at the rate rest controller is nothing but the combination of at the rate controller and at the rate response body. So the same functionality can be achieved with one single annotation instead of using it. And also if you see, I doesn't have to write the at the rate response body on each of this particular method also. So this is going to be a much more cleaner way to write that. Let's take an example of another method where I'm trying to return something over here. Now instead of writing the JSON, I'm going to return a plain message over here, a plain text. So this is the same way which we have written earlier. Now in same things, actually there is no need to write the at the rate response body. Same thing, actually whatever it is that, just change it to the string as a return type over here, and then it is go for the application, it can be written the string over here. So it doesn't need to make any other changes in like that. Just start the application and hit the endpoint of that. I've just written that particular extra forward slash over here. So that is the reason it actually did not appear over there. Now you see here, After making that particular URL changes, I was able to return that particular string over here.